Vasilyevich Tokarev was a Russian weapons designer and Deputy Supreme Soviet of the USSR from 1937 to 1950. Outside the former Soviet Union, he was best known as the designer of the Maxim Tokarev light machine gun, Tokarev TT-30 and TT-33 self-loading pistol, and the Tokarev SVT-38 and SVT-40 self-loading rifle, both of which were mass-produced in large numbers during fighting on the Eastern Front of World War II. Aside from all the other prototypes he had invented or firearms that were not really commissioned for the military, Tokarev also worked alongside many other Soviet firearm developers. Tokarev was like the Soviet John Browning of his time. Let's get into it. Fedor Vasilyevich Tokarev was born June 14th of 1871. During the days of the Russian Empire, before the Bolshevik Revolution of the 20s, at the age of 14, he began working in his father's shop. In 1888, he was admitted to the military vocational school at Novocherkassk at age 17. 1892, he graduated at Cossack non-commissioned officer and sent to the 12th Don Cossack Regiment as an armorer artificer at age 21. 1896, he returned to Novocherkassk as a master armorer instructor, and by the time he was 25, he had applied for admittance to the military technical school, and in 1900 graduated as a Cossack commissioned officer, age 29, and returned to his old unit, the 12th Don Cossack Regiment, as a master gunsmith. In 1908, he made his conversion of the bolt-action model 1891 Mosin-Nagant rifle to semi-automatic fire, which merited official testing, and by 1927 designed the Tokarev Model 1927 submachine gun prototype. In June 1930, his self-loading pistol, the TT series, was adopted standard service for the Red Army. World War II, he defended the habitation in technical sciences, received Hero of the Socialist Labor Award for the USSR State Prize. With the downfall of the Russian Empire and the Bolshevik Revolution, a new type of government was in store for the people of Russia, or communism. With a new government, time for a new army. The Red Army needed new firearms that were efficient and able to handle protecting the country. Tokarev was tasked with this duty. Hence, the TT series pistols came to be, as well as the 7.62-25. This would be the beginning of the Red Army. Tokarev was tasked with a new pistol caliber and a new pistol that would become the standard issue for the USSR. The TT-30, commonly known simply as the TT or the Tokarev, is a semi-automatic pistol designed and produced in the Soviet Union. The design was by Fedor. Tokarev served as the service pistol of the Soviet Armed Forces and militia from 1931 to 1951. Since 1930, it's been manufactured by Tula Arms, Ishvik Arsenal, Norinco, FEG, FB Radom, Kugir Arms Factory, and Zastava Arms. Original production was from 1930 to 1955 in the Soviet Union. Over 1,653,188 were manufactured in this time frame. Chambered in the 7.62 25mm Tokarev round, or the 9x19 NATO. It's a short recoiled locked breech single action. Velocity is about 420 meters a second. Effective firing range is about 50 to 55 yards. The feed system, it has an 8-round detachable box magazine. In the early 1930s, the Soviet Union requested the development of a semi-automatic rifle to replace the Mosin-Nagant, taking the inspiration from the Mexican Mondragon rifle. The design was left up to two individuals, Sergei Semenov, who was later on developed the SKS, and Fedor Tokarev. Both had experience in developing the Fedorov Avomant, created a prototype, the AVS-36, up in 1931. The rifle was used during the Winter War up in Finland, but was removed from service in 1941 due to some of the design flaws. The SVT is a gas-operated rifle with a short-stroke spring-loaded piston above the barrel, a system that would later be used by FN SVT-38 was equipped with a bayonet, 10-round detachable magazine. The receiver was open-top, which enabled loading of the magazines using the 5-round Mosin Nagant stripper clips. The sniper variant had an additional locking notch for a see-through scope mount. It saw combat from 1939 to 1940, the Winter War of Finland. However, the rifle had many flaws, as its gas port was prone to fouling, the magazine would fall out during use, and it was only accurate up to approximately 600 meters. Production was terminated in 1940 after 150,000 had already been manufactured. Vasilyevich Tokarev. So after June 1930, self-loading pistol, the TT being adopted standard service pistol for the Red Army. Tokarev in 1940 defended habilitation in technical sciences and received the Hero of the Socialist Labor Award, the USSR State Prize. Tokarev's son Nikolai also became a prominent firearms designer. He worked for several decades in the Tula arsenal and designed several machine guns and anti-aircraft guns that were used by the Soviet Army from the 1930s to 1940s. Tokarev died March 6, 1968, at the age of 96. His legacy lives on, as we've seen in every single conflict. Firearms designed by Tokarev or developed by his team